All right, welcome back, everybody. I know it's been a while. I apologize. Really, it was work, just working a bunch and trying to catch up on everything. And honestly, while I was working, it also gave me kind of a thought process of, okay, is doing this stuff really worth it? And it gave me a lot of time to kind of think it all through because I'm paying my own money to do all of this, and it's on top of everything I'm already paying for just to trade. And so it was like, okay, am I really going to dump a lot more money into getting the word out there on top of what I'm already dumping money into anyway? And honestly, it just came to me and it was like, you know what? Yes, absolutely. Why not? Um, Even if one person could gain something from this, gain some kind of knowledge, why would I not do it? And I kind of felt like a dick for considering just leaving this in general because hopefully somebody can gain something from this. And if somebody does, and you know what, that makes it worth it to me because that's the type of person I am. If I can make somebody benefit from it, then I'm in. So whether I know it or not, why does that matter? Maybe we can make it happen, and then to me, it's worth it. So why would I not? Um, so getting into the video, PXMD. This was sent to me from Big Fish Catcher, and it was I was honestly on the fence of it just because of the lack of information since it IPO'd pretty recently. I really was on the fence about it, but once I looked at the chart, I got intrigued. And then I found that DD from Dog Shit Hand Grenade. Love the name, by the way. Uh, and his DD was absolutely incredible. It was. If you haven't watched his video and if you haven't read everything that he's put out there, it is honestly really good. I'm terrible about doing the DD portion of it because for years what I've done is I've traded charts. I don't care what the DD is. I care what the chart looks like. And I will take my entry and my exit based on the chart. And he has a bunch of DD out there that, boy, it just makes you want to say, screw your retirement account. Let me put all that into whatever he's saying because it's solid. I mean, it's incredible. It's crazy what he's doing. So big appreciation to Dog Shit Hand Grenade because that really that was a solidifying factor to me on getting me under this. I really like the chart, and then his DD is what put me over the top of saying, okay, you know what, I'm in. So when we look at the chart, there is not very much to go off of. Even the hourly doesn't fill up the screen. It IPO'd in August of 22, and IPOs always go pretty crazy. You can't really rely on what the chart's going to look like for, I mean, minimum we're talking 2 to 3 months. Then you let the chart take its shape, and then you can start looking at trading the chart. But it's still going to be a little crazy, but you can start to see some shape taken. So this one, I would say the chart would start in really the end of September of 22. That's where I would say, okay, we've got some shape forming here. And when we do that, we start to see a channel. And we get our channel going. Okay, so we got a couple limits. We got our resistance line, and then boom, we build 2 support lines. Then I would go ahead and go off of those. I would start trading off of those and say, now we have something to base our decisions on. And really, even IPOs or not, you're going to have false breakouts. You're going to have some crazy stuff happens. It's the way the market has just been lately. And so we have this, which I wouldn't call a false breakout. It was absolutely a breakdown below. It was just a quick gain above, a quick fall down below, and a quick gain above. But I would still want that trend line because it was a triple bottom that then fell below. So it's still going to be respected. But I wonder what happened in there. Was it dilution? Did they have some news? I don't know, which that's dog shit hand grenade. He's probably going to be the guy that would just answer that in a split second. I have no idea. But I'm still going to leave those levels because they have proven over and over and over again that they are resistance and support lines. So that's what I'm going to trade off of. And it had strong recoveries. I mean, literally V-shaped recoveries every time. So, hell, by January, you knew this is probably a pretty volatile stock. And then it started building this wedge, which is what I really liked. And had this real long-term triple bottom. And boy, the way it recovered off of that triple bottom is beautiful. That's what I really like on it. And hell, if it were to take, that $1.40, if it were to come back down to $1.40, I would probably take an extremely large. I won't say extremely large because it's relative, depending on the money that I make. I will take a much larger position than I have. I will put tens of dollars in this stock. We'll put it that way. If it were to come down to $1.40, yes, I would happily buy in much more than I already am. So let's look at it on the daily chart. Let's see what the daily chart looks like. And when we do, we'll adjust our chart for the IPO. As I completely screw this up. Now that wedge looks even more beautiful. As I screw up the trend line. We're going to have to figure this out on how to get this on my iPad to show you, because I can do this shit so much better on my iPad, and this is getting old. But regardless, now we've got our wedge. It's showing. And who was it? Big Fish Catcher. I'd screwed up. You asked, after this candle, you asked for a video. And I was at work. I didn't get it done. But if I could have, then obviously that's an incredible candle. I love it. It bounced off the trend line. It's a shooting star candle that is beautiful. I want in. If this stock had options, then absolutely I would have bought options going into market open. And I understand there's a gap up, but I don't care. I'm not trading on the gap up. I'm trading on the chart in general, and that would have been another indicator that said, okay, it's time for entry. And I would have taken entry. Even on the gap up, I would have taken entry. And it did break down. And you could have gotten better price action and better option pricing midday. But it doesn't matter when you're taking swing trades. You're just trying to catch that momentum and come up to the top of the wedge. And it's not even close. And that honestly was one hell of a day. I mean, it hasn't had... That honestly was a terrible day because it wicked out so hard. This was a great day. And the last great day it had a huge gap up, and then this happened. So we're talking some crazy price action on this stock. And honestly, I'm happy to ride that momentum, and with the DD that Dog Shit Hand Grenade has provided, that momentum is going to carry me a lot further in my decision making on entries and exits, because he did really good DD on us, and I think there's really a lot of upside. And the chart is just hitting a very solid section. It's crazy how solid and how much momentum this stock has. That triple bottom was just, it's textbook. I mean, you can look at a triple bottom stock and here it is. Like, that's what it looks like, and big moves are going to happen, and what you're looking at from here on is there's not a lot of price action. So one thing we've talked about is this VRVP, and once you get above 264, there's nothing. It's it's a volume pocket the entire way up. So then we zoom out. Well, guess what? It's the same freaking thing. There is nothing. There is a ton of room for this to run. So I really like the way that this thing's looking. I think it really has a lot of potential. I think it has a lot of strength, especially the way it was. It wasn't even barcoding. It was just standing still. There was zero volume. And having no volume, I mean, 1.37 million, which I think their 30-day average is a 1.2. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it ain't much on this stock. So any volume that gets put in here is going to be a pretty big move. And having a 17% day on 1.3 million of volume, that's pretty wild. That think if it had 5 times, just give it 5 million. Think of what it could do from there. So, judging by what the chart says, I would say somewhere around Friday to Monday or Tuesday of next week, a market decision will be made. That would be my guess, is that a market decision will be made on where this stock's going to go, up or down. Judging by everything that's been going on, I would completely lean it's going towards the upside. And then if I were to try and give you any price targets on this, I'd be lying. I mean, 350 is some pretty weak resistance. I would say it would be the strongest resistance on the chart, but it's not going to be very strong at all. And then $4. I would say 5. I mean, 5 would be the strongest resistance on this level because you're making that transition from a penny stock. That would be the only reason. So I would say you're looking at dollar moves, and $5 being the big one. Hopefully it's not a TRKA kind of thing, and you get a bunch of dilution, which is hell. That's why Dog Shit Hand Grenade did his thing. He made some great comments on why that should not happen again. But I do really like this play. I think this will be a really good one, and I'm looking forward to riding this with everybody. This thing has a lot of freaking potential, and I mean, you had a 19.6 million volume candle do nothing, a couple of weeks ago, and now all the hype that it's going to start getting, and now you have a 1.3 million volume candle do that. This thing's got a lot of room to run, and I think the worst thing for any short is in educated retail. You get educated retail, you get people that aren't going in there saying, I'm diamond hand. That's their best case scenario, is that you diamond hand. And I'm tired of that. I want to have people more educated. So I hope we get out of that diamond hand mentality. I get the brotherhood and camaraderie of what everyone's trying to do, but really ultimately we all should be trying to make money, and the people's money we are looking to be taking are shorts, hedge funds, and just in general, let's just make money and not be stupid with our decisions. We're not here to gamble. We're here to make plays, and we're here to make money. So I hope you enjoy it. Thank you to Big Fish Catcher. A big thank you to Dog Shit Hand Grenade for that DD he provided. Because if you haven't looked at it yet, go and look at it. It's some good shit, and it's pretty impressive on everything that he was able to lay out. I trade off of charts, and I set entries and exits on this chart until I saw that DD. I do really like everything that's going on here. So hopefully y'all have a good night, and I hope you're ready for that gap up tomorrow.